Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and today I'm in downtown Chattanooga. It's a little bit sprinkly rain, but we're going to press on because I want to do a photo walk today. And something special showed up in the mail. This. This is the TTArtisan 40mm f2 autofocus lens. This one is in Z mount, and this lens has a lot of things that I like about it compared to the native Nikon 40mm retro lens. So I'm going to go over that with you and show you what I got. We're going to get some photos with it. We're going to see how it performs, see if the autofocus does like it should. Here's a little bit of a spoiler alert. I'm pretty sure it's going to. And I'm going to talk about some of the other things that I've learned about this lens since it's come in. First things first, I want to go ahead and mention this. This is the rear lens cap. This is not just a regular lens cap. It has electrical contacts in it. It has a USB-C port on it. What this means is this is your dock to update the firmware in the lens. I was really worried when I saw this about how difficult the firmware process was going to be. I'm going to tell you the truth. It could not have been easier. I use Linux. Linux is notorious for not being compatible with stuff like this. You know, they want you to run it on Windows or sometimes Mac OS to get it to work. Literally, you download the firmware from their site. You plug in the lens to a USB port on your computer. It detects it as like a thumb drive, essentially. You drag the firmware, drop it into that folder that's the lens in your file explorer window. You're done. Once it gets done, you safely disconnect your drive. You click the little button to eject it, whatever you call that. On my Linux system that says eject, and you eject the drive and you're done. It's that simple. I couldn't have been happier with how the firmware update process. So the first thing I did was make sure that I had the current firmware in it. I wasn't sure if it was up to date or not, so I went ahead and downloaded it and updated it. So I've eliminated that possible failure point from an old firmware, because I want to give the lens the best chance possible to succeed, because I really like the form factor. I'm looking forward to using this, just to tell you the truth. There's two things about this lens I like. One, it has a metal lens mount. That's a big deal to me. Now, I don't know why Nikon decided to omit it on their 40mm. Two, it has an aperture ring. Another thing that Nikon dropped the ball on, in my opinion, on their retro lens. You watch channels like Pauly B or Mike Chudley or somebody like that who lives in New York or London or somewhere, and there's just tons and tons of people. This is a holiday weekend, a literal holiday weekend. This is the holiday. It's 11 o'clock. There's nobody here. Look, there's some people way over there walking down the sidewalk. There's nobody here. I'm essentially here by myself. I was going to try to do some street photography with this 40mm TTArtisan f2 autofocus Z mount lens. Yeah, I set it for the algorithm. And I'm just blown away at the fact that there's nobody here. It just boggles my mind. All the way down to this library photo is shot at f8. I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna shoot wide open for a while and see if the lens can keep up with what the camera is demanding of it, while I try to do some street photos and see if it'll catch people's faces. I've got it in face detect autofocus, so face and eye, what have you. But I'm gonna see if I can get that to work now, see if we can do some good with it. Well, I've made it all the way down here to the, I guess, the parade field by the river, as you can see. And there ain't anything here. I figured there'd be some kind of event going on or something, but I was kind of mistaken, I guess. Well, I've made it back to 4th Street from the river, which is right down there, and as you can see, there ain't anybody here. I'm gonna admit, I'm kind of disappointed. I was expecting there to be activity in the West Village. I have gotten some photos with it. I shot it wide open at f2 ever since the library. I set the manual aperture ring to f2. I'm running aperture priority mode on the camera, so I'm floating the shutter speed. I'm down to ISO 100 because the shutter speed is like 1,000th of a second, 1/600, depending on the light. It's overcast today, and right now there's a dark cloud moving in, and it's supposed to start raining this afternoon. The lens is not weather sealed. There's no rubber gasket on the rear of it like there is on weather sealed Nikkor lenses, so bear that in mind. That's no different in that respect than the Nikkor equivalent 40mm f2.8 that they sell, in that it's not weather sealed either. So one thing I do need to tell you is that this was given to me by TTArtisan to review it, and they sent it to me with the, I guess the rule of I get to keep it. So it's a free lens for me to review it. Now, I have really looked for something wrong with this lens. Its plastic construction isn't bad. It's plastic, but it's still not bad. So I really have a hard time finding anything to fault with the lens. Even though it's free, they did not like put restrictions on what I say. So if I could have found something wrong with it, I could tell you. Now, since it's overcast today, it's like having the perfect softbox. This is like the best possible conditions to do photos with this lens. So shooting it wide open, I ain't gonna be able to tell if it's blooming or anything like that because of the diffused light. It's almost like a cheat code for taking beautiful photos. So I just wanted to let you know, and I think it's a law or something too, that they gave me this lens and I don't have to give it back. And I'm doing the review in exchange for the lens. So with that, let's get on with the video. Video editor Dave has figured out something. Building the video, I have figured out that the images at f2, if you get the light right, for some reason, they come out beautiful. But if the light's wrong any at all, it has this kind of, they seem out of focus, but they're not. They're sharp, but it's like the images are a little soft around the edges. In the center of the frame, it's razor sharp, even at f2. But out away from the edge of the frame, or away from the center of the frame, they start getting soft. You stop it down one stop, that all seems to go away. So, you know, if you'll shoot it at f2.8, you won't have that trouble. I typically shoot no lower. When I'm doing cityscape and street style stuff, I am never typically below f4. That's kind of normal for me. So at f8, they were perfect. As you saw in the Ellis restaurant sign photo, perfect photos. And then when I opened it up to f2, I got to noticing that they would be a little soft, because a lot of times I'd frame people on the side of the image because of what I was shooting waist level, looking down at the viewfinder, and I was trying to be kind of inconspicuous because I wasn't wanting to bruise the scene. You know, it's one thing to have people, like, you know, catch you taking their photo. That's not a big problem because I'm in a public space, but I want to catch them in their natural environment, like the two people surfing their phone. Now, I didn't want to like interrupt them. I wanted them to be surfing their phone when I got the photo. So I'm trying to shoot waist level, and it draws a lot less attention for some reason. It just does. Anyway, that's the way I was shooting, and the camera was on eye and face detect. So the moment it locked onto the head, I fired the frame, and it worked a lot. I didn't have a lot of misses by that. If they were riding motorcycles down the street, sometimes it would miss, because I think that's partly the camera. But at the end of the day, this little lens works good for like $170 new. Actually, a little less, I think, even from B&H. Yeah. Here it is. I got it pulled up on the other screen. B&H lists this lens brand new for $168. Think about that. You get a metal lens mount, you get an actual aperture ring, and you can put it in auto and drive it with the front command wheel if you want. That's an option. It still functions the way the Nikkor does with a metal lens mount. And it comes with a nice lens hood that snaps right on. It's really well made and goes on and off easy. Front and rear lens caps. Has a way to update the firmware. What's not to like? I mean, now we all know I'm kind of partial to TTArtisan because I have their 35mm f1.4 manual lens for L mount, and I have their 35mm f0.95 for L mount, which I have shot extensively on my CL. I also have their 17mm, I think it's a f1.4, that's an L mount lens for my CL as well. But those are crop sensor lenses. This is a full frame lens. So, you know, there's a lot going on here for $168. That's not bad. You know, would I shoot portraiture with it open, wide open? No, I just wouldn't. To me, it's a little wide for personal preference. For portraiture, I would prefer the lens be, you know, 60mm or 85, somewhere in there. I can do portraits with 50, but this is starting to get a little wide. It works, and you can get by if that's all you got. You can make it work, but I was kind of surprised at how good it performed. Stop down, one stop. That basically fixes all of the issues with the camera. Or the lens, let me say it that way, my bad. It fixes all the issues with the lens by just stopping it down one stop. So with that, I appreciate y'all watching. And until next time, this is David. I'm going to tell you to get your camera out, just like this one. Or doesn't matter, just get your camera out and go take some pictures with it. Oh, by the way, I'll have a link in the description, Amazon affiliate link for this lens on Amazon. If you want to get one of them, I'd appreciate it if you run it through me. Just be kind of nice. But anyway, see y'all later. Bye-bye.